What is going on, everybody? And welcome in to the latest live stream of the century, latest live stream of your life. As always, I'm John, your host. Very happy to be here, man. We already had some people waiting here in the chat, man. So it's good to see everybody here in the chat. Appreciate you guys being here, man. We got a couple of communities in here, man. So let me welcome in everybody. First of all, let me welcome in the Lakers Corner family. Everybody that's coming here from the Lakers Corner, and you're here from that stream. I appreciate you. We got the Clutch Talk family. We got everybody here that's from the Clutch Talk family. If you're tuning in here from that stream, appreciate you. Good to see you guys. And we also got the Lakers Fast Break family. We're talking about we are going to get into really all things NBA. And as you see the title of this stream, we are eventually going to debate whether the bubble championship deserves an asterisk or not. And I had to bring on the one person that I know that believes this wholeheartedly, he believes this wholeheartedly. I won't say the stance he has, which because we're going to get into that. And I won't say the stance I have because we're going to get into that. But he believes wholeheartedly strongly about the bubble. I believe something about the bubble. So here we are. We are going to have a debate on the bubble. So let me welcome in not only my streaming partner for today, but my homie, Ron. My dog, how you doing?
So far, so good. Ready to talk some hoops.
There you go, man. For everybody out there, man, Ron is my dog. He's actually my next door neighbor. So he's actually right behind this wall right here. But we still decided to do it like this, man. But anyway, if you're here, man, you see the title. You see what we're going to talk about. Does the bubble ring deserve an asterisk or not? But for us to do this, man, we are. I want us to at least get to around like 20 to 25 people here going for us to be able to really get this cracking. So if you want to hear us get into the stream, man, go tell your friend, go tell your cousin, go tell your mama, go tell everybody to come get on the stream. And until then, keep just dropping just any NBA questions, comments. We're going to get into all that. Let me go ahead and show some love here to the chat. Jay, it's good to see you, my brother. We also got Faces Sports in the house, man. Appreciate you tuning in, supporting. And then Jay is giving some love. He said, I like how you guys took a break when there's been no Lakers rumors, unlike all these other Lakers channels, is spreading rumors for clicks. We do not look for clicks out here. We talking real basketball, real genuine hoops. And then we already got someone giving a opinion on this debate. We are going to double back.
I've seen that.
We are going to double back. I appreciate your comment. I promise we will double back to this and we will talk about all of this. But let's get it cracking, man. Let's get it cracking. Jay said, John, off topic. What are your thoughts on As It Stands Lakers? Are you talking about the channel As It Stands Lakers? Or are you talking about the team as they currently stand? Let me know what you're talking about.
I think he's talking about how they're currently constructed.
Okay, I mean, shoot. I mean, currently constructed. We could talk about that absolutely. And the only reason why I thought he was talking about As It Stands because there's a channel that's called.
Oh yeah. I know. Yeah.
But anyway, Jay, appreciate you asking this question. And as it stands today, I'm gonna be honest with you. The way I feel about this Lakers team is that I feel optimistic about JJ Redick. I ain't gonna lie to you. I know he's a first-time head coach, but I do feel optimistic about him. Besides that, we're bringing back the same roster, except we just brought in Bronny, brought in Dalton Connect, JJ, and let some players walk. What's up, Ron? Yeah. You got something to say?
Honestly, it can't get much worse than Darvin Ham, to be honest.
Man, you cannot get worse than Darvin Ham. That's the good thing about the bottom is you can't go no worse.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like JJ's got to be an improvement regardless. But absolutely. I mean, we'll see.
Absolutely. We'll see. And then the Face of Sports said them COVID bubble boys. Absolutely. We got our boy in the building. He said, what's up? So I don't know if Gerald is gonna pop up here today, but Gerald, and Ron, for you, Gerald, he helps run the Lakers Fast Break channel. So sometimes people in the chat, that's where they get Gerald from. Lifted said the 2020 championship was hardest to win. We will get into all this, man. And we are already at 15 people in here right now, man. So go ahead and keep it coming and see. Hey, Ron, he was talking about the channel, but the channel.
Oh, he was. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but the channel's cool. I guess, you know what I'm saying? Just some more Lakers channel. But if you really want the best type of Lakers content, you got to come to the Lakers Corner. You got to come to the Lakers Fast Break, man. And then let me see. Juan said, "What happened to and Gerald? Joe and Gerald still do the Lakers fast break. We're just coming out here doing a live stream here, just part of the big group here. And then let's see. We are at 17 people. Ron, we might have to start this debate earlier than I thought. Ron, I ain't gonna lie, because the people
Chip should count for double. All right.
uh,
So that's
no, Ron, we might
that's
have to start
hilarious.
this earlier, man. But anyway, all right. Before we get into that, I guess let's talk about the Olympics. The Olympics just wrapped up. We seen Team USA bring home gold. Ron, do you have any thoughts from the Olympics? Let's just get into that before we start getting into all that first.
I mean, starting off, I feel like they started slow, and then they progressively started putting it together more and more. And I mean, the Olympics are always kind of weird because it's hard to put that much talent on one team, and then it just cohesively meld like that. But they did what they were supposed to do.
They did. They did. They definitely did what they were supposed to do. And it's funny because we were watching that gold medal game, and when they were interviewing Steve Kerr, and Steve Kerr was saying like, "Oh, anything besides gold is just a disappointment." So
Yeah,
I
it's true
absolutely
though.
agree, 100%. I 100%. It
And I
is.
mean the whole world's getting better. We were just like the other day we were talking and
Mm-hmm.
we said they hooping everywhere. they, they
Niggas
really
hooping over
hooping
there in
everywhere.
France.
Yeah. Oh yeah, France, Germany, I mean even Canada got better and all those teams are young though. So in 4 years it's going to be even harder. But we'll see. We'll see who's all going to be playing when it gets to that point and whatnot. Because they like World Cup games. We don't USA don't really care about, so we'll see. They got to start caring more. I feel like because it's not going to be so easy all these next Olympics.
Absolutely, man. It's not. I mean, these teams like France, the freaking Serbia, freaking Canada, all like just like you said, they're just gonna keep getting better and better and better, man. So,
Yeah,
I'm right there with you, man. I mean, I know you enjoyed that last game though, Ron. I know Ron. I got to give some context here, man. Ron is a big time Warriors fan, big time Curry fan. He tells me
yeah.
all the time.
Been a
He
fan since
says,
before Curry though. But
yes. Ron always tells me Curry came through like Jesus and saved the Warriors, which is crazy. But
man,
go ahead, Ron.
basically he's the goat around here. But
Oh. Let's see, man. All right, let me see. High Octane, he said I'm his goat. Appreciate you. You guys are my goat. You guys being here are the goat. We got 18 people here right now, man. Keep
yeah,
it
there's a
coming.
lot of chats.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell your friends, tell your mama, tell your cousins, tell everybody to join, man, because we're gonna talk about this bubble championship. We also gonna talk a little bit about the league. Frank, I appreciate your comment. Frank said, I think no matter what, who won. Okay, I'll see. He's just talking about the bubble. But Frank, I promise you, we're gonna get around to that right now. Let me see what
Yeah.
Jay said. Jay said, John, the schedule has been out. What are your predictions in the first 15 games for the Lakers? All right. Well, we can go ahead and get into that. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think that I could give you a synopsis of win L, win L, win L, but that might take kind of long. But what I really think is going to happen for the Lakers is I think we are going to I think we're going to start off hot. I ain't gonna lie. I think we're going to start off hot. We're going to start off rolling, have a lot of momentum because I think the type of coach that JJ Redick is he's going to extra prepare, extra keep his players ready. So then coming into season, we'll
Yeah,
be
and I
there,
think
but
at the
of course we'll slow
beginning,
down.
with a new coach, teams aren't going to know your tendencies, what
Mm-hmm.
how he wants to use his pieces until. So a lot of times that'll help you in the start because teams don't know what to prepare for.
Absolutely. No scouting plan. It's kind of like how when the Grizzlies
Yeah,
caught everybody off guard, nobody
yeah,
knew that they were going to be good. And the next year, everybody knew. Everybody was ready for it.
yeah,
That scouting report real, man. That scouting report
yeah.
real. Mission 24 said, y'all think Connect could end up as in the starting lineup? Man, I don't know, man.
That's
I don't know. His rookie year is tough. But I mean, the type of player he is, like we're talking about a wing who can catch and shoot. That's great to put around Braun, but starting it might be kind of tough for his rookie year. What's up, Ron?
yeah. I think people get caught up in starting and all this. All that matters is he's gonna be he's gonna I think by
He's
the end
gonna
of the
have an
season
effect.
be playing heavy minutes too. You know, it doesn't matter if you come
Absolutely.
off the bench if you're still eating up a bunch of minutes, especially when in the fourth quarter when it's winning time. If he catches and hits, they need that shooting. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Every time I talk about Connect, I'm like, man, I way rather have Dalton Connect and that wing instead of Jared Vanderbilt, who just cannot shoot. So I
Yeah.
think it's good to just fill up shooters around LeBron. Condor, appreciate you. Always good having you guys in here, man. Thanks for everybody in here, man. Right now we got 18 people here. Keep it coming, man. Let me see. Juan said, okay, bubble stuff. Hey, Ron, as soon as I finish all these chats about other stuff, we're gonna have to start this bubble stuff because the people are talking about it. The people want it, man.
Yeah.
The people
I
want it.
mean, when that's the title of the video, people are clicking on that right now.
They clicking on it. All right. Let me see. Southern Comfort said LeBron gonna play in 2028. Remember me? I don't know. LeBron's gonna be too old in 2028. He's already too old.
Yeah, no, he was already looking like old man, old man, like old man time was getting
He
him.
was.
I ain't never seen him so great, but he dies that during the season.
Man, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that gray on his beard is crazy. And then
Yeah,
man, see
no,
him
but
still going out
yeah,
there throwing that
still,
thing down
he
is
was still
crazy.
still looking 25, but he picks
Still
his
looking.
he picks his moments.
Yeah, you got to at that when you that old.
Yeah,
Face
yeah.
of Sports says shit. We need to look at the 3-on-3 situation. I absolutely
Oh,
agree. We should
oh,
talk to me, Ron. How do you feel?
we should honestly, I was thinking like, why, why is, why is this our team right now? Like we got guys that don't even play in the league. Playing like, I'm not saying we need the best, but we could field several teams way better than
Yeah,
that
way
team.
better
Like
than what we put up, man. You could
so
have put up
many teams.
rookies out there. That would have better
Oh
than that.
yeah, honestly, we could have put an under 18 team together better than them. So it's kind of wild that you got guys like that out there. No
Man,
defense.
no defense. That was embarrassing. I agree, brother. He said, and then Jay said, John, do you think the Lakers can reach 50 wins with JJ's first year coaching? I believe so. I believe so. I ain't gonna lie. You not feeling that, Ron? You
That's
not feeling
that's
that?
gonna be tough, bro. In the West, I mean, they could. That's gonna be tough. But I mean, if they're healthy, I mean, anything's possible. That's really. I mean, it's not even about the coach really. It's more about just staying healthy throughout the year to get that many
Absolutely.
wins.
Absolutely, especially with LeBron and AD, they got to stay healthy. But Ron, you got some people showing love. They said it was
Oh
fun
yeah.
rooting for Curry in the Olympics.
Oh yeah. That last Olympic game, he
It
brought it
was
home. Or
brought
well,
it
the both
home.
of the medal games. That's when he turned it on. He knew it was winning
He
time.
knew what time it was, man. High Octane said, "I'm gonna blaze out." When are you talking about smoking weed? If that's the case, come on through, brother. Come on through. Okay. And then let's see. Jay said, which player on the Lakers can have an impact this year that didn't have a chance last year? Didn't have a chance last year. Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent. But I mean, by default, right? I think by default, he's going to have more of an impact than he had last year. The man didn't even play last year.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that, Jay, or Ron, or what's up?
Yeah, I mean that's especially a veteran guard. I mean they need all the help they can get at guard because that's where they need the help more than any of the front court positions.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, absolutely. We do need some solid guards, but we also do need a good solid backup big, which will kind of reminds
Right.
me of the 2020 team. But and we're gonna get into that in a little bit here. He said Lakers were lucky they didn't have to face a healthy Warriors team. I would disagree with that, considering the last couple of years the Lakers have been on top versus the Warriors. I ain't gonna
Yeah,
lie, but
I
Ron
mean
got something to
what
say
are we
about that.
talking? We're talking about the bubble, like when?
I mean, but the Lakers even beat the Warriors after the bubble too, though. We knocked them out
Yeah,
the.
yeah, and then y'all lost in the first round, right? Like after,
Come
so it's like
on.
neither team was competing. I mean, at the highest level, what we was
Okay,
playing
look,
teams really. I mean, when you're fighting for the bottom, I mean, you're really not competing at the highest level.
Ron. They said you look like an old school R&B singer. That is hella funny. Let me see. Face of Sports said, still not the right chat. Okay, I got Lakers Corner Clutch Talk. What's the third channel? My bad. No, you're all good, brother. So we have Lakers Corner Clutch Talk, and then there's another channel called Lakers Fast Break. So those are the three chats. So you're all the chats that are coming in here are coming from all those channels. Um he said, I heard weed. What up now? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, hella
he was
funny,
on it.
man. Sky said, "How did you and Ron meet?" He's actually my neighbor, so
Yeah,
we met right outside.
yeah.
Uh, Well, hey, Ron, the people are loving you, Ron. They said, can you please make Ron a regular part of Lakers Fast
I
Break?
know. I was like, damn, already.
They
I'll
loving
take it.
you, man.
I'll
They
slide.
loving you. All right. Hey, I mean, hey, Ron knows his hoops, man. So we'll definitely bring Ron along as much as he wants to come along, man. As much as he wants to come along, man. But I feel like we are at a good point to go ahead and get this started, my brother, because we got a active 19 people here in the chat. We got people going crazy in the chat. So we're gonna get into this bubble championship debate. It's the debate is did the 2020 NBA championship that the Lakers won does that deserve an asterisk or not? So I gotta ask you, Ron, do you want to take the floor first? Or you want me to go first? I'll give you the choice to decide.
I mean, you could go. We've already we've already went over it, but you could
We I
go.
mean we've gone over it. We've gone over it, but it's for the
You
people
could
out
give
there.
your points, and then
Okay.
I'll give you
Okay. All right.
mine.
Here we go. All right. So then I'm gonna do this. All right. Here we go, y'all. I have decided to break my debate argument, however you want to look at this, down into 3 points. So I'm gonna give y'all my first point, my second point, my third point. But starting with my first one, okay, and that is that mental aspect of all this. Okay, so if anything, this was, in my opinion, the toughest championship of all time because you took the normal players, these players who are used to their regime, out of their regime. And these players have been used to this for years. I mean, 4 years, and you forced them to still play at a high level. And the perfect example of this is let's look at a player like LeBron James. In 2020, he had been in the league for, I believe, around like 18 years or 17 years, something like that. And he had a regimen. He had a routine. He had things that he has been used to for years. And LeBron is not the only one. There's all players around the league. There's players who are probably a lot more like to the T. They need to do shit right every single time, every single time. And now you took them out of that regime and you put them and you still told them to perform at a high level. That's one part of the mental aspect that definitely affects the game. But let me keep going because I have a couple more things to talk about on this mental aspect. First point. Another thing that I think people sleep on a lot is the fact that people need to realize, like, and I've told you this before, Ron, that like this is not freaking NBA 2K. These are real people who not only have real regimes that they've been used to for years and years and years, but they also have real families. They have real kids and moms and wives and daughters. And you cannot just isolate these people from their loved ones during a worldwide pandemic with so much uncertainty and still tell them, hey, you still need to perform at the highest possible level. And I'll tell you what, man, any pro athlete out there, anybody that played any type of high level sports, you know that for you to perform on the court, for you to be there physically, you got to be locked in mentally. And a perfect example of someone not being locked in mentally and that affecting their game is no other than Pandemic P, the man who got an entire nickname just because of how much the bubble put a mental strain on him. Paul George in the bubble put up career lows in points, rebounds, assists, and he said it was all because he was mentally messed up. And if you don't believe me, well, don't worry. I got someone here for you to tell you himself. Let's go ahead and get into this clip.
Underestimated mental health, honestly. I had anxiety, a little bit of depression, just being locked in here, and you know, I just wasn't there. I checked out, and it was games 2, 3, 4. I wasn't there. I felt like I wasn't there. But shout out to the people that was in my corner, the people that gave me the words. Shout out Laura.
Y'all get it. Basically, what he is talking about there is that he after he got eliminated.
Wah.
Okay,
Cry me a river, bro.
Look. After he got eliminated, go ahead.
Let's be real, bro. Paul George has never been a great playoff performer. Period.
Oh,
like he's had his moments, but it's been more let down. It's been more let down often than not in the playoffs with Paul George. So let's get that out the way. And then, okay, you're separated from your family, but before the pandemic, they were with their family for months.
But that doesn't
training.
change the fact that look.
I know,
Let me
I understand,
look.
but you act like they're like they're in prison, like they can't call their family, like you can't FaceTime. Like I understand it's still hard in its own way, but there's no way you're going to convince me that no travel, not playing in front of fans is harder.
Look.
There's,
Let
like,
me
there's
let
no
me finish.
there's no
Let me
way.
finish. Let me finish my whole thing because that right there,
Yeah.
that all that was just showing that was Paul George himself talking about how after he got eliminated, he could not mentally lock in, and him not mentally lock in clearly affected his physical performance. But okay, let's
That's
keep it
PG
pushing
though.
because I got more. Okay, I got more. Don't worry. I got more. Okay, so with Paul George saying that, the players in the bubble saying that, if the Lakers were still able to perform the best, still able to overcome all these odds and all these mental hurdles, it by de facto makes it literally the hardest championship of all time. But let's keep it pushing though, because I got some more to talk about. Back to the regime, right? Because earlier I told you some of these dudes are creatures of habits. So now you are forcing them out of their habit that they've been used to for years. Some of these guys have private chefs. They've been eating certain ways, and now they're just being given food. Some of these dudes have been locked in for years. They know they're nutritious. They got their diet down. They got everything down to a T. Now you can't have none of that because you can't be 6 feet within somebody. So can't nobody be cooking your food. They're giving you food, which, mind you, everybody in the bubble that was there said the food in there was terrible. So now they're also having to grow accustomed to not eating the way that they've grown accustomed to for years. Another thing with the regime is, bro, you got to remember that during COVID, and this was at the beginning of COVID, they were sticking that freaking swab all the way up your damn nose, bro. They were sticking that swab all the way up your damn nose. And let me get to my point two now, because point one was all about mentally and being mentally locked in here. Just Antoine Albert said Jokic said differently. Yeah, but I have examples of multiple players saying differently. And if you need to go back in the stream and watch my point one, but let me get to my point two. Point number two. Let's talk about another player that was actually in the bubble. Let's talk about Rajon Rondo. Okay, Rajon Rondo. When they asked him, "Hey, Rondo, which championship to you was harder, the bubble championship or the championship that you won when you were on the Celtics?" He said, when talking about my championships, this was by far the hardest one. Family is everything. Not being able to see your family takes a toll on you mentally. We're not eating normal food as our normal regimes. It takes a toll on our body, our mind, especially the older players. We are not getting proper rest, not sleeping in our own beds on an uncertain schedule. It was a lot different, and those circumstances made it more difficult. But hey, maybe you still don't believe me because I gave you not only facts and accounts of players, but I'll give you a different account of a different player talking about it. But let me go ahead and get into this.
What were your experiences like in the bubble? And, you've won 3 chips. How does that ring compare to the other 2 in terms of difficulty?
I always tell everybody it was the hardest one.
Yes.
It was the hardest one by far.
You hear that, people?
By far.
You hear that, Jordan fans?
Obviously, winning.
Okay, so there's another player that was in the bubble giving their account, and a player that's won multiple championships here. Okay, and he's talking about 2 players I just gave you that have won multiple championships on different teams. Just came out and both said that the bubble was the hardest one. But let me keep it going. Let's talk about Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard said when he was in the bubble for months at a time, he felt like he was depressed. He wasn't himself, not being able to see his family, not being able to see his kids. But maybe these quotes aren't doing it for you. So here you go. Here is another account of a player in the bubble talking about how difficult it was.
I couldn't imagine that.
Like
the bubble was prison,
That
bro.
was prison, but everyone was cool with each other.
That was the issue. They sold us all this shit before we got to the bubble. We're going to have the park amenities. Disneyland's going to be available. The golf courses, fishing, ponds, the
That's
lakes.
all you needed. When I heard fishing, I said, PG set. He's good.
But that was like all phases. We had to damn near wait for them to slowly start to open it up for us. 2 months.
Did they let you do the roller coasters and all that stuff or no?
No.
None?
No.
So what the hell was you doing? Just walking, taking a stroll?
Basically,
Oh,
we
my
was just
God.
living in jail. I used to just watch cars go by, bro.
No.
Real talk. And you would just watch people run around the border because you couldn't cross outside that border or you would get flagged. You had to go in isolation.
Testing in isolation.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, and then here I wrap up. I'm starting to wrap up here, Ron. I just had to have, because that's my second point. My second point is the player accounts. Okay. And then maybe you think I'm talking about only bringing up Lakers players. And if that's the case,
No, you just
only,
came with a bunch of soft
if
emotional guys though.
no, okay.
Like Karl
Here we
Anthony
go.
Towns and
Here we
PG.
go. Here we go.
Danny
let's
Green
put it,
Danny
let's
Green's
put it
a
to
solid reference though. Danny
I'll
Green was
tell
a
you
solid
what,
reference though.
Danny Green is not soft. Rajon Rondo, not soft.
No, I said he's solid and not
But okay,
and not
let's keep
Rondo,
it pushing.
but
Let's keep pushing. Let's see this one. Let's see an account of a player that was in there and not a Lakers player.
That was the hardest championship to win, in my opinion. 15 deep, plus coaches, staff, whatever you need, like training staff. Other than that, it's you, your thoughts in one room, boxed in.
I ain't talking
That's
to
it.
nobody.
Listen,
I ain't talking to nobody from the other team.
it
The whole
felt like
time.
you was. It felt like you was gang affiliated when you was in the bubble.
Yeah, I chose my side.
Lakers got on purple and gold. We got on black. The Bucks got on their green. Like, and nobody was walking by themselves. So I'm his protege. So like, at this point, that's my best friend in the bubble.
Yes, sir.
Man, we like this.
Long story short, you see what Bam Adebayo is saying, and this is how I'll finish my second point, and then I will get to my last and third final point. If the players, I just gave you accounts of so many different players who are themselves saying it, if the people who were actually in there are saying it was the hardest championship, why in the world would I
don't
listen
know
to
about
anybody
so many.
else?
You gave a handful.
Brother, I just
You
gave you
handful.
I just
Five,
gave you a
like five.
handful.
Yeah.
Look,
That's
hold
not-
on.
that's not-
I just gave
that's
you
not
a.
a-
I
that's
just
not
gave-
even a big sample size.
Okay, but I could keep going here all day of just as far as players just talking about this. I'm just giving you an example of players, because it's funny to me how everyone that was not in the bubble says it was the easiest championship, but everyone that was in the bubble says it was the hardest championship. That's literally like saying someone that was on the Titanic saying, yo, that water was cold, and somebody that was not on the Titanic saying, yo, just stop being a wussy. That water wasn't cold. That's exactly what that's like saying. Like, but you know what? Let me get to my last and final point, because you know what, Ron? I gave you the facts and the stats, and I gave you the players' accounts. But the last and final thing, bro, we would have won no matter what. We were the best team prior to all this happening. We were the number one seed, had the number one defense. Anthony Davis was too dominant. LeBron James led the league in assists. We actually had a team built around LeBron with shooters. And guess what? Right before that break, we had beat the top four teams in a row. We beat the Celtics, we beat the Bucks, we beat the Clippers, and we beat the Nuggets. So I will end with this, brother. Name me an advantage that the Lakers had that other teams did not have, because you cannot. I can name you a disadvantage that the Lakers did not have as a number one seed that every other number one seed got. Guess what? When you're a number one seed, you earn home court advantage. The Lakers were the number one seed and got that stripped from them, still won a championship. Therefore, de facto, with everything I've given you, this is the hardest championship of all time.
I don't think so. Just based off of the way, if anybody watched that, right? Everybody in the chat watch that the bubble. That was not real playoff basketball. You can't just cut a season short and then restart it, play some games, and then have everybody playing at the same playoff level. Teams like the Lakers that are talented like that, and those teams are always going to be solid. But then there's other teams that need games to get into rhythm and to get all the defense together, and you just didn't see that. Everybody was you can't just stop and restart and then think you're going to have the same level of play. The defense was not like normal playoff defense. It just wasn't normal playoff basketball, like how the caliber that we're used to seeing. So that's my simplest fact for giving them an asterisk, because it was nothing like the level of play was much lower, bro, much lower than if you look at any other finals. And the finals were better because it's the Heat. But if you looked at the whole bracket in the tournament, it wasn't the level of play was much lower. So that's why I give them an asterisk off top.
I can't go with that. So that's all.
And
you
then
have
they haven't competed. They haven't competed since.
What? We were just in the Western
at
Conference Finals. What are you talking about?
At the high. Oh well.
Hold on. We were just
hold
on. Let me rebuttal that
How
because we were
long-
just at
how
the
long-
Western Conference Finals. Listen, that was 3 years ago. If you count this last season, that's not very long. So
Yeah.
we were just at the Western Conference Finals, and guess what? The Miami Heat, the team that was also in the championship in the bubble, they were also in the finals coming years after that, proving you that the bubble was not a fluke. I'm telling you, bro. People who say that, and no disrespect to you, Ron, but disrespect to the Antoine Alberts out there. People who say that don't understand basketball, dog. I'm telling you, this is not 2K. This is real life. They go through
it's
real
not
life
2K,
shit.
you're right.
And
You're right.
that's and I just showed you
That's like the
examples
main thing too.
of players themselves talking
Talking some
about it.
mental
So
health
why
shit.
would I believe somebody who was sitting at their fucking mom's couch versus the player who was actually in the bubble?
Not all the players said that though. You just
I
like
gave
you
you-
said
I
you brought
gave
a
you
handful.
Did you bring at least one of a player talking about it's not? Come on, man.
I didn't, but I mean, you've seen the level of play, bro. That's the biggest thing. Like, because there's like I said, there's teams like the Lakers that could come and honestly, the season being cut short does help them because they are injury prone. So
So is the
less
rest of the
games
league.
doesn't.
It's not like the Lakers only got the break.
I don't know. Street clothes Davis. They don't call him that
Bro.
for no reason. That's
Yeah,
not,
but guess what? Kawhi Leonard also got the break. Paul George also got the break. All these other dudes also got the break. Like, we can't sit here and act like the Lakers were the only team at home chilling when everybody else was
never
playing.
said that.
So
Never said
so that point becomes a mute.
I never
because
said it was unfair. What I said is it's not a real championship.
cap. That's cap. Because that
It's
team
not.
would have
It's not that
dog
playoffs.
walked all these teams.
That playoffs was terrible. The level of play, it just didn't cut it.
Absolutely.
That's
not.
why I don't think I think they should have just never brought the season back. Like it was.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And like I said at the end, y'all, like I said, until somebody can give me an advantage that the Lakers had that other teams did not have, then the point is a mute. Because I'm telling you right now, the Lakers were at a disadvantage versus every other number one seed in the world. Every other number one seed that was ever a number one seed had a home court advantage, except the Lakers, and they still got it done de facto, making it the hardest thing because of what the players said, because of mentally, because of that.
You gotta look at what Pookie said.
What did Pookie say?
The season's a marathon, and that was no marathon.
Absolutely not. Yeah, you're right. It was a harder marathon because now you got to be mentally locked in for a lot longer.
It was just a sprint. Like a sprint's different than a marathon.
Bro, do y'all understand? Like, see, I could tell Pookie never played any high level sports. I could tell that right now. I could tell that Pookie did not play a high level because you could tell, bro. Because listen to this, dog. You have to understand when you're older, when you're up there in age, like you can't just go stop. Like that shit was so hard for a 36-year-old LeBron James to stop everything and then pick that shit right back up.
Everything. Like he wasn't at the house hooping. Like he wasn't training. Like LeBron don't be out working.
You believe LeBron James was doing the same regimen at his home than he would have been doing that during an NBA season? You believe that?
He probably was doing more because they do more in the offseason than they do during the regular season. What are we even talking about? It's like summer. Like during the summertime, that's when they work. That's really when they work harder. They don't work harder during the season. But Steph Curry gets up like way more shots in the offseason than he does during the season.
Look. Oh, Kurt.
Like,
Kurt. Ron, he said Ron has no idea what he's talking about. He's reaching. Oh, they try to get on you right now.
I'm not reaching.
Nah,
it was there. It was there. I mean, if you watch those playoffs, it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same level of play all around the league. Like it normally is. How it heightens up to get to the playoffs. It was not like that.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I will tell you what. The players said otherwise. I gave you five.
Some players said
otherwise,
and half of them was soft as fuck. Besides what Rondo and
Danny Green, Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, besides them.
Oh, come on,
Bam didn't even. Wasn't he hurt? Wasn't he hurt most of the time?
No. Bam played. Bam definitely played. Bam got that huge block on Jason Tatum, and then
he did. I remember clips, but I could have swore, didn't he? Wasn't he not 100%? Yeah, because it's like
I mean, nobody's 100% at that point, but no, he
Well,
was
no,
there.
there was a lot more 100% people than there normally is in the playoffs. That's also why there was
And
definitely
guess what?
100% players. Like
And
what?
y'all
It took 5 months
still didn't
off.
perform. And y'all still didn't perform. The 2020 Lakers.
Nah,
had
but
advanced
some
overall.
teams, like I said, some teams need that time to get their cohesiveness together. The more talented teams, a lot of times, yeah, they don't need that. But that's why it's different. There's teams that win titles that you would never have thought would win a title, and it's because of the way the season forges you.
Hold on. So does Ron think any team who would have won a championship shouldn't have counted?
Well, that year, if the way they did it, I don't know, maybe if they would have made it longer or something, but I don't think they should have just canceled the season and then just came back, started the next season earlier.
Fuck no. Let me see. Hold on. Faces Sports says, speaking of Tatum, anyone know if he recovered from that pine ride? I mean, he went through it. He went through it.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people saying that they should have gave Tatum Halliburton's minutes, but it's like that's kind of dumb. They're not even the same type of player.
Yeah, they're different players. Yeah,
which especially with that team, Halliburton distributes more. He got a handle. He's a guard.
Yeah,
you can't just give him his minutes because he deserves it more. Like, no, that's not how it works. Got a
great point. Great point. Yeah, that I agree, Ron. But great point by Kurt. Kurt said Spurs won during the lockout season, and nobody talks about that. Like, come on, man, that's a great. Nobody talks about that.
The lockout season was way different, though, bro. They didn't just cut it. They played less games, but the marathon to get to the playoffs was different. You playing all those games in a row. And then traveling to different having to fly from city to city, playing in front of 17, 18,000.
Bro, but you gotta
everybody was talking about the mental, like they're playing a children's game, bro. Calm down.
Whoa, what, bro? Ron, that's like, crazy. Ron,
bro,
brother.
There's people in the chat that actually have like be out of the country and shit for their jobs, and they don't get paid millions of dollars. So I mean, I understand it's tough, but at the same time, bro, come on now. Everybody's just bringing up mental health. What about physically? Like, no one said anything about being more physical or anything. No one brought up any actual hooping.
Bro, what are you talking about? My point my first point that I brought up.
None of the people you brought up said anything about the physicality or the level of basketball. All they said was some more mental.
Well, guess what? But hold on, Ron. Hold on. Any high level athlete knows that you have to be mentally locked in for you to perform at your highest possible level. If you're not mentally locked in, you're not going to perform. Hold on. Look at Paul George. Go. If you don't believe me,
Paul George hold on.
If you don't believe me, not only I could play the video back again, but right after they got eliminated by the Denver Nuggets, these people. Paul George came out and had his worst numbers of all time, career lows, and then
he's had a few stinkers in the playoffs though. In the real playoffs,
he blamed it all on mental. He blamed it all mental.
Making excuses though. He's Paul George. He rarely plays good in the playoffs. He has a couple moments where he shined, but overall, over his career, bro, he's been ass in the playoffs. He's been a letdown. He's been a letdown, bro.
He's always putting up more than 20 points per game. Go ahead and look up on basketball reference. He put up 20 points per game. That is the absolute career low for him in the playoffs. And he attributed it all to him being mentally fucked up. So clearly there is a correlation between you being mentally fucked up and not messing you up physically. And I guarantee Paul George is not the only one of these 500 players in the league that felt that. I guarantee more felt that than others. Like the only people who did not feel that were these little youngins who got no kids, no wife, no nothing. But these dudes weren't playing for shit. When you go back and look at the playoffs, all those dudes were some big dogs that were mentally that had shit to miss at home, and now these niggas got to miss it. And for LeBron and the Lakers to lock in even through all that, come on, bro. It literally by de facto makes it the harder championship
I think
ever.
Period. Eight games is not enough to get teams playoff ready. That's just what it boils down to, bro. because the level of play. I watched all the bubble games, bro. There was nothing else to do. I watched all the bubble games, and the level of play it wasn't playoff basketball, bro. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, bro. 8 games. You can't play 8 games and then start a tournament and think that you're gonna get the same level of play as the crucible that is the real NBA season. It's not rocket science, bro. Like it takes like I said, the more talented teams are more likely to still be the same, like the teams that compete, but health matters too, and that helps too to not have to play all those games.
Do you believe you know more than the NBA players that were actually in the bubble?
No, but I think there's people that other NBA players that don't feel like that.
And if a majority of them feel like that, why would we not?
You didn't bring up a majority. You brought up like a couple of dudes that have had deep playoff runs, and then you brought up Paul George, who it seems like it's hard for him to play in the playoffs. Period. So,
but not when he put
not
up 20 points
before.
I agree, he's put up stinkers, but not as nearly as bad as that.
Oh,
brother,
I don't. We can go back and Paul George has had some stinkers in the playoffs, bro. Some stinkers. Paul George is like the last. Like Paul George and Big Cat. That was like the worst. The worst 2 people.
But I'm not
like, bro. They don't have. Neither of them have had extended playoff success. How much can they really talk about playoff basketball?
It doesn't. We're not. We're talking about the fact that it's the bubble. We're talking about the fact that you're in the bubble.
Nobody even brought up the level of basketball that was being played. Nobody.
Are you not watching the video? Paul George himself.
They all said mental health.
Yes, Paul George concluded the fact that the reason why he played so bad and put up career lows is because he was not mentally locked in. So therefore, by de facto, it has to mentally being locked in has to correlate with physically. I mean, I'm telling you this, y'all. I'm telling you this. I promise you, dog. Like for the people out there, I guarantee. Go ask any high level athlete
at all.
It has to. It has to.
Obviously, somewhat. But to the degree that they put in it, they put in a 2 on a 10.
They put in a 2 on a 10. What you mean?
They put in a 2 on a 10. It's not. It like they make it seem way tougher than it actually is, though.
No, they're just telling you the truth.
Well, yeah, of course, for multimillionaires that always could go do whatever they want. Obviously, the bubble wasn't fun for them, but it's like, bro, they were chilling for months before that, and now you mad you got to go a couple months. What the bubble was like? What 2-3 months?
Yeah, bubble was like I believe a little bit over 3 months.
Yeah, so I mean, that sucks, bro. But at the same time, everybody got to sacrifice something, bro. At that time,
you're right. Everybody got to sacrifice something. So for the Lakers to sacrifice for the longest and sacrifice the most, like they were in there for over 90 days. Now, can you imagine, Ron, not seeing like your significant other or you're like for fucking over 90 days? You're not gonna like, especially maybe not in your position, though, Ron. I got a child. Like, bro, my daughter is gonna look like a totally different person in 90 days, and if I can't see her. All because of this worldwide pandemic, which I don't know what's going on out there. I don't know, bro. Do you remember how crazy COVID was at the time? It's calm now, but niggas thought this was like the Ebola at the time.
Yeah. I mean, people was dying. I mean, people
was dying. Yeah. And I can't protect my family because I'm locked in here in this bubble. How am I supposed to how am I supposed to be good at basketball when I'm thinking about if my daughter out there is going to be straight? You can't. Man. You can't. Man, I had fun. I had fun doing this, Ron. I had some fun. I had some fun doing this, man. Bloodhound, good to see you, my brother. We got 21 people here in the chat, man. Let me see. I'll be explaining NBA. I have nothing to prove. Man, I don't know what you're talking about, Pookie, man. But man, all I'll say is this. That bubble championship had to have been the hardest, in my opinion. And I'm going to go down to my grave with that.
And we're going to agree to disagree because I watched it, bro, and there's no way that wasn't even playoff basketball. They should have called it something else. They should have gave them like some other type of title or something, the bubble title or something, and then I wouldn't have. But calling it normal finals, and I watched the finals every year. I watch all the playoffs every year, and that level of play was definitely a notch below. Just overall around the league. Like, I'm not saying the Lakers sucked, like, because they were obviously the best team, but I think there's certain teams that do need more than 8 games and then into the playoffs to actually compete. But
bro,
it is what it is.
Let me ask you this, because playoff basketball is high level basketball. There was the last time prior to Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell both putting up 50-point games in one playoff series. The last time that happened was Vince Carter and Allen Iverson, I believe in like 2002 or something like that. So that right there is a fact that was high level basketball. Both Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray.
High level offense.
High level basketball.
Where was the defense? Where was the defense though? Where was the defense though? No, really, the defense. That's what it boils down to. Because teams, it takes, like, unless you're just the most talented team, yeah, you'll be able to lock people down. But like, there's teams that they need to play, bro. All like that whole like 8 games just wasn't enough. Maybe they would have had to probably double that to really get teams. But I mean, I understand. Then you're saying that's like 3-4 months. Then that would be crazy to have them locked up for that long. But I'm just saying, it just watching it just from pure spectator with no salt in the game, it was not the same level.
Man,
that defensively is where you've seen it the most. Defensively is where, because usually teams play like how the Heat be, like they're always like that, but certain teams need to be forged in the fire and really go through adversity throughout the season. Like, you can't just cut it, restart it, and then think,
what's
like,
more adversity than a worldwide pandemic?
They weren't playing basketball together. What does that have to do with playing basketball? Like, playing basketball, playing games together. That's all. I'm talking about going through things on the basketball court.
On the court. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Like, what is, like, we keep talking about like all this mental, like, I'm talking just pure from the X's and O's and how it looks standpoint. And because teams, there's always teams that pop up to the top that randomly end up in the conference finals, and we never would have seen that coming. But I don't think you would have a situation like that without the way the seasons work.
Man, hold on. I need to make sure, because from my recollection, I ain't gonna lie, weren't they already 8 games away from the season ending, and then there was the whole break, and then they just finished. So they still played the same amount of games.
No, they played even more games. But the way that it worked, bro, like, you can't just cut off and then just cut off.
It was a pandemic. What are they supposed to do?
Well, no, I understand that, but you can't just expect the same level of play when you just pick up 5 months later. You can't just expect like the same level of play. Like, I mean, I think that's foolish to even think that it's going to be anything similar.
This for you. You said you said you would have rather let the season go ahead.
Yeah, let the season be canceled, and then they could have just restarted the other season, because they ended up having to push back the other season anyway. So they could have just scooted the other one forward. I mean, it wouldn't have. I mean, they could have just had like some tournament, with all the top teams. That wasn't necessarily and then we're gonna call it like, oh, it's the finals and everything, like, because it's not the same. We could call it something else. It was a nice tournament, but it wasn't like the normal playoff tournament, especially with the level of play. Mostly defensively, though.
You're right. It wasn't.
I mean, there's nothing you could do about that besides play more games, and people ain't gonna do that, bro. Because, like you said, locked up for. Yeah, no, it's crazy, but it wasn't the same level of play.
You're right. It was harder. You're right, Ron. You're right. It wasn't the same level of play.
It wasn't the same level of play.
Man.
Defensively was atrocious, bro. Like, the better defensive teams were still solid, but there's teams that like I say, there's always teams that randomly rise to the top. There was not going to be no random team that year.
Hold on. And on top of all that, dog, on top of all that, because I talked about mental health being real, there's the whole George Floyd situation going on. There was the whole like Black Lives
Yeah,
Matter
you
movement
talked
going
about
on.
a lot of mental health. You ain't talked about a lot of hoops though.
But brother, my first
not
point,
the pure X's and O's and what the 5-on-5, like how did the defense look? That's what
but
I'm
my
talking
first
about.
point, my first point was telling you that the mental is a correlation with the physical in the hoops. So if you can't be here mentally, you're not going to be there at the hoops wise. Come on.
Somewhat, I don't know. There's people still balling out in the bubble. It was just more offensively though. There was because the defense is more that's where you see it on the defense, because defense isn't something that you could just like practice. You have to be out there with the same team, same lineups, see how you play certain sets and situations. So it's like, bro, it just wasn't there. That part wasn't there.
Man, I don't know about that, man.
So you're saying the defense. So you're saying the defense was still on par with normal playoff defense. That's what you're saying. That's your take.
No, my take is that this championship, because of everything I listed, from players' accounts to mental to that affecting your physical
not
play,
talking about
that made it the harder.
Actual basketball though.
But brother, I just like, how does you like Paul George said it himself. Like, because he was not mentally locked in, he could not do his basketball to highest level. So the basketball that you want to talk about, we can't get there without touching on the mental aspect. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Offensively, there was dudes getting to their highest level, like you said, but it was just defensively, the teams weren't there. Like, there was the same, like, yeah, the Heat and the Lakers were good defensively, but that's what you expect. It's the randoms that the other teams that usually like tighten it up around playoff time, but there was no time to tighten it up. You have 8 games and then you're in the tournament, so you kind of just, it is what it is.
Can I ask you an honest question? Do you think the Lakers would have won no matter what, like that year?
Yeah, think? if they were healthy the whole season, yeah. But then that's a big if though, because that's like what, like probably a little bit less than a 50-50, or no, it's probably at this point, because what, AD's been healthy now for a little bit, so
yeah,
it's probably like a 7 out of 10 chance that they would have been healthy. But then that 3 and 10 chance they wouldn't have done nothing if they're not healthy. So I think cutting the season at the time too that they cut it, because there's nowhere, because that's when all the wear and tear was starting to happen. You know, at that point in the season, that's when you see the attrition really starts to happen, and they cut it off right at that point, and then give everybody all this time off to train, and because basically people training, like, you act like they ain't still hooping. They were still hooping. They got gyms at their houses.
But that's, man, bro. Oh yes, sure, I agree, but it's just like everyone got that break though, so I feel like
I never said it was unfair. I never said anything was unfair. What I said was that wasn't the normal level of playoff basketball,
because of all these exterior factors. It made it harder level of basketball.
No, it wasn't. The defense was worse. Overall, the defense in the tournament was worse than the normal tournament. So,
and the offense was better.
Yeah, because the defense was worse.
And the offense was better, and it was mentally harder to lock in, and you were going through a worldwide uncertain pandemic.
For certain players. I think for certain players that something like that probably helps them, because they could lock in more, less distractions. You're not worrying about getting tickets. You're not worried about going here, going there. You just hoop. It's the not seeing your family. Yeah, that sucks, bro. But you were with your family though, like, and you got to go get your money, like, somehow.
Man.
Or because what I know the players wasn't gonna not want to get paid for those games.
I mean, some players didn't go. Like, another point that to help the Lakers even more, we lost one of our best perimeter defenders in Avery Bradley. He didn't even go to the bubble, and we still won a championship. So making it even more of a harder championship for the Lakers.
You're
That's
you're
a
talking like
stretch.
Avery Bradley. Like Avery Bradley,
Avery
what did he
Bradley
do
was that
that
nigga on
season?
defense.
No, he was not for y'all though. Not much. No, he was, but that was like towards the end, bro. He retired after that, didn't? Or what? He's not retired yet, but damn near. Because Avery Bradley was, but
Pookie,
like you guys
and Pookie historically, and teams that were the number 1 seed got home court advantage. Lakers didn't, therefore no asterisk. Come on, Pookie.
well, there's no home court. It's neutral ground. So
yeah,
what are we
and so
talking about? There is no.
You rip the Lakers' right to have a home. They earned that right to be a home court. They earned the right to be number 1 seed.
Yeah, you act like
They
home
not?
court means anything in the NBA though. It doesn't. It doesn't. You steal home court. It's the home court gets stolen usually in the first 2 games when it's a good series. So what is home court like?
What is home court? Okay, so
No, what is that really like? You're saying like home court is like a big decider when it's like that's not how the statistics work.
Okay, so if home court's not a big decider, then any point that anyone makes about there being no fans is a mute point.
Different though, because when you're playing in a silent gym versus playing in front of 18,000 people, there's I feel like there's got to be a huge difference. It's not rocket science.
Nah, man. Look, this was Sean said. Sean said I think he's talking to Pookie. He said you can put it in caps all day. Won't change the fact that there's not an asterisk. Thanks for playing and losing.
Hey, Shaq said there's an asterisk, so I believe Shaq over. I'll listen to Shaq over Paul George, Karl Anthony Towns.
That's crazy. You're gonna listen to Shaq over the people who were in there, over Bam Adebayo who was in there, over Paul George who was in there, over PG who's Danny Green, Rondo.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely listen to Shaq over them.
The nigga who wasn't in there, nigga who had no idea about it.
I'm talking again. I mean, the nigga that played a lot of playoff basketball, though. A lot of those guys you named, besides what Danny Green and Rondo, they haven't played a lot of playoff basketball because they're ass in the playoffs and they get kicked out in the first round. So, what do we? You love to bring up people that don't even compete in the playoffs often. Like how many series has Cat even been in the playoffs?
Look, Cat was just in that. Cat was just in that video. It's a really about what Paul George was saying. But okay,
Paul George too, though. Paul George
even take Paul George out, bro. Bam, Rondo, Danny Green. That right there is literally 3 solid examples of players who went in other places and have been like, "Yo, this shit was still the hardest." Come on, man. Oh man,
didn't look the hardest as a spectator. That
Face
defense
of Sports
was atrocious.
Said Shaq can't spell asterisks. Hey, no, Shaq, it's so funny. Nah, man.
Shaq got a doctorate.
Hey, better stop playing with him. Better stop playing. He got a doctorate. Man. All right. Well, for the people out there, man, before we get out here, let me know in the chat. Like, just drop it in the chat. Did the bubble ring count or did it not count? That's what I need to know right now. I've gave my debate. I've gave my points. Ron gave his points. I need to see what the chat talking about. So go ahead and drop that in the chat. Let me see what people are talking about here. Solo said, I don't understand the argument. There was a chip to win and the Lakers won. Clippers quit because they couldn't handle it.
The Clippers were never going to compete anyway for a chip. Every time there's something with them. There's always something. Someone get hurt or they just put up a stinker. Like they're not. Kawhi's been hella inconsistent.
Hella inconsistent and hella injury prone, and he still got the same break he got the same break that AD got, and guess what?
The Clippers,
he wasn't able to do
were
it.
Never gonna come. Yeah, honestly, you would think that would be something that would help the Clippers having that break, but PG over here crying a river, so you know he couldn't hoop.
All right, right now we got one saying it counts. We got another saying it counts. Let me see. We got another saying it counts. Let me see. Way more than those Celtics, than those titles in the 50s, 60s. Celtics won when there was 10 teams in the league. Yeah, those titles definitely didn't count. Not as easy as the Celtics title this year. I like that. The Celtics had an easier title this year for sure.
Yeah, but that's partly to do with just how uncompetitive the East is.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if they were, because that's kind of how it be though. The team on the East always has the easier shot because they're not going. The West is a grindhouse. Like by the time you get to the finals, you're missing a pound of flesh.
You're missing a pound of flesh. Yes, I like that. I definitely, yeah. He said the bubble title was harder than the Celtics run. I agree. Even though I can't, it's kind of hard to blame the Celtics because like you can't choose who you play. Like you just got to play who's in front of you type shit. So
Yeah.
I feel that, but
And
okay,
it's all
well,
matchups. So if they're just, because I think if Denver would have came out, they might have been able to beat them, but it still would have been tough though. I think it would have been a better matchup though.
I honestly think I've said this a lot of times. I think like I know that basketball comes down to matchups, and I really believe that the Denver Nuggets would have beat the Celtics if they
because
had that. It's
it
about the
becomes more
matchups.
about scoring, and
Yep.
then yeah.
They can match that. But look, ever since I've asked the question, Ron, of people putting if they think it matters or not, or if it counts, everybody has said it counts in the chat, Ron.
Well, I mean, this is a Lakers channel.
That is true. That is true. That is true. But man, Ron, I've had some fun doing this. This was fun, Ron. I appreciate you for coming on.
We gotta do it again.
Yes. We are going to do it again. Okay, we have one person saying it doesn't count, and this person knows little to nothing about basketball. So we're good here. We are good here. But yes, we will. Go ahead, Ron.
There's a couple. There's a couple.
It was you,
It
was you, Pookie, and Antoine. You guys were the three saying versus like the 38 or I literally like 7 just in the chat here saying that it counts on top of the players saying that it was the hardest championship. But Ron, I've had a great time. Thank you very much for coming on here. This will not be the last time for everybody in the chat, man. I appreciate you guys being in here. This will not be the last time you see Ron's face. You will see Ron's face again. We will get on the live stream again, talking about different things. We really want to do this bubble debate because I talk about it with all my friends. I talk about it with Antoine all the time. I talk about it with my dog Ron, and me and Ron literally talk basketball every night. Just it doesn't have the camera in front of us, so we figured might as well turn the camera on. But as always, guys, thank you guys for your support. Please do go follow and subscribe to my 2 YouTube channels, and that is Lakers Corner and Clutch Talk. Also, go follow the Instagram at Clutch Talk Pod, and for Lakers Corner, it's at Lakers_Corner. Ron, do you have any socials or anything that you want to plug out there?
Nope.
All right. All good. But don't worry about it, y'all, because you don't need a socials to keep up with Ron because Ron will be back. He'll be back talking some more hoops with us. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Face of Sports. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, everybody. And for now, we out of here, y'all. Deuces.
Yep. Peace.